Fun fact number 48, or my 2 cents, or whatever you want to call it. Um, I've had a lot of people talking about AI. I've heard it in a lot of the news. I've heard it in a lot of the feeds. I know people who use some AI stuff. Um, there's logarithms and stuff everywhere. I think we're messing up with AI. I think there's good uses for it, and I think there's not so good uses for it. And I also think some of the uses for it are not working in an accurate manner or appropriately. And automation can get you so far. I mean, kind of like my online dating experience or me applying for jobs. Same type of thing. Like, if you're scanning a resume and it doesn't have all the keywords, somebody could just find out, look at, like, you can look up what the keywords are, put them in your resume, even if they don't apply to you. You can say, I'm not proficient at the keyword. Then they'll pull your resume to review further, but sometimes they'll just automatically send you moved on to the next step. So I don't think that's the best way. It's not, as a business technology analyst, business process analyst, I don't think that's the best way to determine that. Because some people who are absolutely qualified, for a position may slip through those cracks. And some people who just know how to work the system will get the job and then not really know how to do it. So I think that's an issue. I've talked about AI before, about saying, oh, give me a Van Gogh Mona Lisa. It was ugly and it was worthless and had no soul to it, and it was gross. I know people that use AI to write, to kids use it to write their essays sometimes now. And I'm thinking, when the power goes out, what are these people going to do? They're not going to know how to write. They're not going to know what to say. They're not going to know how to talk. They're not going to know how to do a lot of things. And what I've found is that automation and AI aren't the end all be all, and that people think they are, and that they're going to make our lives so much better. I think they help you in some ways cheat a little bit better and not actually do the work and actually learn what you need to learn. So I'm kind of not the biggest fan of AI. I think it does have a purpose, and I think it could be used in a very good way, but I think most of the ways it's being used or could be used aren't the best applications of it. So that's me, but also automation, because I also said people suck too, because customer service is out the window. My dad died in December. My mom is trying to get all these things done and set up. She has to switch things over to her name. She has to switch other things. She has to do the life insurance. She has to do the long-term care. And she was doing the long-term care a year ago when my dad was still alive. And she finally just got the money for the long-term care for my dad. It took them that long. And then they're like, oh, you need to fill out this document too. And she's like, no, I don't. And then she calls them and she's on hold for an hour or two or three, and they get on the phone and she goes, why do you want me to fill out this document and turn it in? It doesn't apply to me. And they're like, you don't have to fill out that document. But for a week they've been telling her they're not going to send the money because she has to fill out that document or do something else. It took them a year. And my dad's already dead. It's like, um, it's terrible. It's terrible that a lot of people who get jobs don't really know what they're doing and have no customer service, period. I'm I'm going to talk about what I'm doing soon, but I had to get some more insurance. And I went in and I got the insurance, and first it's $310 and it's going to be like this. And I said, well, this person needs to be on the insurance too. And I want this, this, and this. And so I gave them my credit card and I gave them the other person's information so they could add them to the policy. And then, and it's like, and then I had to do these final steps. Do you want text messages? No. Do you want e-billing? No. Do you want an e-policy? No, I don't. You can even click off e-policy. I'm getting an e-policy even though I don't want it. And then they sent me an email saying, oh, see you signed up for e-billing. I didn't sign up for e-billing. They asked me on the phone if I wanted a different type to add this insurance. And I said, no, I don't want to add that insurance. But they still sent me documentation to try to get me to add that insurance. The policy I got didn't have the person's name, was an e-policy. And I sent them emails. I called, I said, this is not what I asked for. You need to fix it. And every time I send them an email, they're like, oh, now you need to finalize. Do you want text messages? Do you want this? And I'm like, no. Do you want automatic payments? I'm like, no, I'm paying for a year. If I'm not done with this in a year, then I don't deserve to be doing this, right? So I'm just like, I already said no to these things like 10 times, and you're making me say no again. Telling that my insurance policy isn't finalized until I answer these questions that I've just answered 10 times. And then that's when you call them, but you don't get them. You get somebody else who doesn't know what you're talking about, and you have to repeat yourself, and then they put you on hold for 5 hours. No wonder my mom's going crazy with all this stuff. It's impossible. There's no customer service. There's nobody who is following along and understands that you've done this already. So that's kind of, I mean, as a business technology analyst and a business process analyst and an analyst, and being a picky person, I'm like, you should know this already. Everybody wants to communicate through automation and the computer and make everything automatic. And that's not life. That is not life. And like I said, when the power goes out, they're all going to be screwed. That was kind of my people suck too, because I did talk to somebody on the phone. We went over everything, and then what I got was not what we discussed. Well, the guy flirted with me on the phone for about an hour, and I was trying to get off because I had other things to do, but I think that's why he didn't get the answers right on the form. Also, I write books, and I do self-publishing online, and I've been doing it for 17 years. And they keep changing the formatting, the parameters, the qualifications, what you need to put in the book for this, what you need to put in the book for this type of distribution, what you need to put in the book for that, what the margins are, what the templates are, what the instructions are for uploading, what files they accept. In the 17 years, I think there's been, it was like, after about, I would say 10 years, they changed it. And that made sense to me. Technology had changed, so they changed how they did things, and I learned that. But now it's like, well, you need to go into our knowledge base and check everything out every time you publish. Even if you publish 2 weeks apart, there could be a change. And I'm like, and then if you don't, the thing is, you don't, they don't tell you about the change. You have to go into the knowledge base every time to see if there is a change and if it's going to affect your project. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. And they're doing it like I said, they'll do it within a 2-week period. It's like, okay, I did everything that I knew that I was supposed to do from the last time. And now you're saying that there's something different now I have to do again. And what happens is you get a proof copy and you have to proof it. And then you go back in and you find out some of the things that you set up aren't there. So you have to reset up and get another proof copy, which costs you every time. So they're setting things up so you have to pay more in order to get something done. You have to waste more of your time or pay more money in order to get something done. That's ridiculous. So Yeah, AI and automation. I think we need to have some kind of analysis on how it should be used and what the best uses of it are. And maybe some parameters on how to use it. Some people are just cheating. And then sometimes people just suck. They just don't listen. They just don't care. And I think that's another one that I'm going to talk about soon is about caring. Because if you do care, your whole outlook and your whole approach to everything is different than what I've been dealing with a lot lately. So I'm going boo, AI, automation, people who don't have service skills, who don't know their jobs. And it's like torture trying to get anything done because you're on hold for 5 hours. And it shouldn't take a year after my father's dead in order to get the payments for his long-term care. That's ridiculous. So that's my people suck. But a lot of companies are trying to do AI and automation for everything and technology for everything. And sometimes, like I said, life doesn't always work that way. Be better. So that's my rant. Fun fact, my 2 cents. Again. Ciao, Bellas.